Welcome everybody. Thanks for taking the time to sit down with us. My name is Pat Franklin. I'm a partner manager for the marketplace here at Everflow, and I have the amazing opportunity to sit down today with Will Perry, founder of Reason and Power Affiliate. Will, how's it going?
Good to be with you.
Yeah, you had your voice was lost yesterday when we touched base,
Yeah.
and glad to see you're feeling a little bit better today. So keep drinking that tea.
Yeah, depending on how many times you make me laugh will be dependent upon the amount of times that I'll cough. So we'll try to keep it together.
Yeah, it's not my goal today. I want to, talk about Meta and everything that entails. But any extra laughs, that'll be just icing on the cake for us.
Perfect.
Today, we're going to be taking a peek behind the curtain of paid social traffic, specifically on Meta. It's kind of a mysterious channel. I know myself, I've been in the industry for 10 years, and when I was looking to promote my offers, it was always hard to find really good media buyers. We knew they were out there, but they were always kind of hard to find and uncover. So I'm happy you were willing to kind of show your face here today, Will.
For sure.
We've titled this chat, How to Find and Scale with Power Affiliates That Can Drive 100 plus sales a day. One note I did want to say, if anyone has any questions throughout our conversation today, please feel free to post them in the chat so we can make sure to get them all answered. We will have a Q&A session at the tail end of the presentation. Will and his team are experienced social media buyers and creative testing experts. They spent over 200 million on paid social traffic and have a really unique and collaborative perspective on how to work with brands, something that I really appreciate. And I love their approach to that. Before we dive into some topics that we've prepared today, I just wanted to start with a little levity. I do have a fun little clip, and I've found it to be really the easiest way to show my friends and family what we all do. So I'll play that real quickly for us. All right, everyone knows this guy.
So, how do you sustain a business model in which users don't pay for your service?
Senator, we run ads.
I see.
That was the one laughing moment, though, that at least we can get started with initially.
Yeah, you knew the joke before. Obviously, that's a famous clip from the Congress hearing with Cambridge Analytica in 2018. I played it for a couple reasons, other than it just being fun. One being that you and your team over at Reason, you guys aren't only on Meta. You guys do Google, TikTok, all sorts of other premium platforms. But for the purpose of today's conversation, just to make things easy, we're going to talk about Meta specifically. And also, after that happened, it kind of feeds into some of the topics we're going to touch today. The next 6 months to 9 months on Facebook really changed the landscape of how to promote offers, because they were really trying to hone in on data privacy and things like that, and it changed everything for brands and affiliates like yourself.
Well, and literally 15 years ago when I started on Meta, which was maybe like 2010. So yeah, 15 years ago, roughly, you couldn't even advertise as an affiliate on Facebook at that time, right? Like they didn't actually allow, obviously you could black hat it, but
right.
Yeah, you couldn't actually advertise as an affiliate in that capacity.
Yeah, you had to kind of reverse engineer it, back engineer it. It's hard to believe that you were old enough to...
I know everyone thinks I'm a young guy, but I mean, I'm still a young guy, but
I'm jealous.
Ripe old age of 38 about to be, so.
All right, me too. All right, well, let's get into it. Would you mind kind of expanding a little bit on what the Reason agency does and Power Affiliate, your other company?
Yeah, absolutely. So essentially what we do, we partner with growth stage brands who are looking for a high volume of growth. We really do a lot of due diligence to try to understand, whether a brand truly is ready for affiliate traffic. And we'll probably get into that today in a variety of different ways. A lot of brands want affiliate traffic or think they want affiliate traffic, but it can lead to a variety of complications for them. Oftentimes the program just never getting off the ground. And usually it's just a massive expectations misalignment in a lot of those cases. So essentially, on the Reason side, our agency, we are a power affiliate that partners with brands. We basically aim to generate 100 sales a day or more for brands who really want growth and they're not necessarily optimizing for day one profitability. And then on the network side, we've built the Power Affiliate Army, and Power Affiliate Network, built on Everflow, is a closed members only network for power affiliates. And we bring the Army with us on offers. And that's sort of the phase that we're activating right now as well. So I don't want to hog the mic too much on that, but essentially, we aim to drive massive growth as a power affiliate for D2C brands, primarily telehealth, health and wellness.
And what I really love about you guys, and I'll just touch on this now before we get into it a little bit deeper, is your power affiliate community. You approach that the same way you approach working directly with brands as sole media buyers for them, where it's really collaborative. It's the idea is about working together, understanding the metrics so you can really maximize the goal for a long-term kind of success perspective.
Yeah, I'm probably going to laugh when I say this, but on our end, we just kind of feel like the affiliate industry is built on a pyramid of lies. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of deception. There's a lot of lack of transparency.
Never. What are you talking about?
We just don't do business that way. And so we want everything to sort of be a win-win-win situation. And, when a brand is happy, they're getting the growth that they want to see. The power affiliate is happy. They're getting the commissions that they want for putting the time and the effort into a campaign or into an offer. And then, we win as a partner, in a variety of different ways, like in that capacity as well. And I just think we are really aiming to be extremely disruptive to this industry by just not standing for most of the nonsense that the industry is known for. We want to run campaigns and work with brands in a compliant way. We don't want to, try to break the rules and not be compliant. And we also want brands to be honest with affiliates, like their conversion rates, their internal CPAs and things like that. Because that's just what leads to programs failing, is that lack of transparency. And, so there's people out there that are going to do it. That's fine. This might sound like grandstanding. We just won't work with them. So that's
sure.
Fine.
Yeah. And, and it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? When people test affiliates that maybe don't have their best intentions in mind or bad actors, it gives them a bad taste in their mouth for what affiliate means. They're less likely to share those types of metrics with maybe folks like yourself that they have a chance to get in touch with. And so I really wanted to kind of jump into first of all, we're going to talk about when a brand's ready for paid affiliate traffic. But more importantly, why is Meta from the social side of things kind of still considered the cream of crop for social traffic?
You can just drive a lot of volume, right? Like the platform is so massive with regards to its reach. Obviously probably the second best platform, of course, is Google, depending on if you're going after paid search or YouTube. But, there's only so many keywords from an affiliate perspective. And a lot of times affiliates are not often able to run paid search in order to drive acquisition in a performance basis, for a brand, because they're probably running it internally, right? Like you can do it with advertorials and things like that. And,
it cannibalizes itself a little bit.
Yeah, it cannibalizes itself. There's definitely advanced strategies, with, building advertorials and things that are more complex. But yeah, I mean, from the side of Meta, because it's so driven by the creative, you have so much ability to reach new audiences through new avatars and new angles. And, you can spend 20, 30, 40, 50 grand a day and drive, whether it's on the lead gen side, a lot of lead volume, or on the, e-com side, a lot of new customer volume. And there's just a massive amount of scale on Meta.
Absolutely. And it's also the kind of holy grail of demographics, obviously it depends on what your product is, what vertical you're in, but so many of us that have promoted products in the past, it's that 45 plus demographic that tends to interact and purchase a lot more or submit leads. So from your perspective, when is a brand ready to start testing paid affiliate traffic? When should they dip their toe in the water?
Yeah, I mean, this is sort of the root of our, vetting philosophy. We, as an affiliate, we look at an investment into affiliate as if, you were to acquire a business, you're going to do due diligence on that business. You're going to, verify the financials, right? Like that's more of an M&A, type example. But from a affiliate type example, we're vetting based on a 10-point vetting criteria. But most specifically, that really centers around the conversion rate and the payout. And that conversion rate, and really to answer your question directly, is whether the offer is proven or not. The thing that we want to get rid of is we want to get rid of in the industry brands partnering with affiliates and brands bringing affiliates unproven offers, right? They either see working or using affiliates. People often use the word using affiliates in order to get cheaper traffic than what they're able to get themselves, as if affiliates have some wizardry wand, and all that does is incentivize the black hat stuff that they don't actually want. And then they get upset in this whole thing. And then on the other side, on the affiliate side, it just incentivizes them to do the black hat stuff because they're like, well, how am I supposed to make this low cost, cost per lead or CPA work in order to make money?
Because there's no such thing as good, cheap premium traffic.
Yeah, right. There's no such thing as, especially nowadays, right? Like there's not a pop-up new platform. You could maybe make the case for AppLovin, but it's still super exclusive. You have to be an insanely high spender in order to spend on the platform. But for the overwhelming majority, you're advertising on TikTok, Google, YouTube, Meta, and those are the primary channels to acquire traffic. Maybe some native in certain cases, of course, obviously. But the offer has to be proven, and proven to us means that at minimum, it has generated more than 5,000 conversions in the last 90 days. All that is 50 conversions times 30 times 3.
And that's oftentimes internal, right? It doesn't have to be all with affiliates. It's people that have kind of made it work for themselves and for their company, and they're looking to expand their reach externally.
Yeah, in our view, working with affiliates should be like pouring fuel on the fire, right? It is a growth strategy. It is a sales channel. As we all know, whether we are agency of record, in-house at a brand, or affiliate, all paid traffic does is expose our product and our business model, right? And that can either be good or bad. You run paid traffic, you don't get conversions, it's still working. You run paid traffic, you get conversions, it's still working. You're getting a result. It just might not be the result that you want. But all affiliates are going to do is just drive more pain to the lack of product market fit, if that is the case, lack of funnel and offer economics, actually working.
Totally. Is there an example of a brand that isn't ready to test paid affiliate traffic?
I don't remember. Are we naming names today? I don't.
That's up to you.
Yeah.
No one's going to get mad at me.
Yeah. I mean, I usually try to do a pretty good job with this in regards to not airing anybody's dirty laundry. So
give them pseudonyms.
I won't name names today. But obviously we've had, I've been at this for, more than a decade now. I've seen a lot with regards to working with online brands, e-com primarily. It kind of goes back again to that expectations issue, quick little side nugget. 2015, when everyone's like, oh, I want a 5X ROAS from my apparel brand, running DPA ads, right?
There's some big numbers being thrown around, right?
Right. And and then it was like, well, in what reality are those expectations rooted? And what that means is we essentially use a mathematical formula in order to forecast potential ROI. Those were the days when we were working direct with brands more like internally, and now working direct with brands more externally. It all just goes back to the expectations of traffic. When is a brand not really ready? When they're struggling with their traffic internally. Like if you can't get your traffic going internally, then go hire an agency that can help you build and stabilize foundation, or hire internally, like hire a digital marketing manager or whatever, a CMO, a marketing director, right, someone who knows ads and acquisition. Hire them with the expectation that we're building for scale. right?
Right. Someone who can go back and fix some of the kinks in the funnel,
Fix it,
fix some of the kinks in
optimize,
the metrics,
right?
the
But
economics.
everybody wants the growth, everybody wants the profit, and it's only a select few. And I know some of the names that are on the call today, like Adam from Direct Meds. Shout out to Adam.
Hey, Adam.
You know, we work with them. When you understand the unit economics of your marketing and of your funnel, then you can work with power affiliates, because then you're going to see the growth and the scale that you're looking for. But if you're a low to mid 7-figure brand and you're still trying to figure out your product market fit, how your offer performs through paid traffic, yeah, not ready for affiliate traffic.
For you, it boils down to a couple things, right? You have to understand your CAC, your customer acquisition costs, and your LTV, right? Can you explain and expand a little bit on that relationship?
For sure. The brands who have success with power affiliates, like the ones that drive actual volume, meaning thousands of conversions a month or more, they understand their LTV to cost to acquire customer ratio, right? And when you understand the LTV to CAC ratio,
LTV being lifetime value
of a customer. Let's just use easy math. Like, let's say it's 3-to-1, right? I'm making $3 for every dollar that I acquire a customer. Cool. If my cost to consumer is $50, I can pay $100 to an affiliate in order to grow, right? Because I understand that there's a 3-to-1 ratio, and that's like really tight or small, like low LTV ecom. You know, let's use like higher LTV ecom, like in the range of 2,000 to 3,000 with regards to, you know, the value of a customer. I can afford to spend $300-400 in order to acquire that customer, because I'm getting 6-to-1, because I know the LTV of that customer, the value is 600. I don't need to micromanage my day one CAC, aka my day one profit, because as I'm driving growth through power affiliates, the valuation of my brand is significantly increasing because my ARR is growing rapidly, right? Absolutely. And my LTV is growing because I'm acquiring more customers, and hopefully I've got a good retention strategy and I've got great fulfillment on my product. So my LTV is growing as well at the same time.
In my days working with networks and working with publishers really extensively, as well as here in the marketplace, oftentimes there's so many missed opportunities of people having a chance to work with some really, really valuable affiliates because they're worried about paying them a little bit more than they're willing to kind of pay externally, right? It's they want to get that exact same profit margin. They think that's how it works, and you just 10x it with the right affiliates. And, obviously everyone needs some skin in the game to kind of make it work, but not just for themselves and their own bottom line, but so they can also test in a way that's
for sure
illuminating and really kind of open up all the possible avenues of optimization, especially with a platform like Meta.
Well, and I think I saw something in the chat about mindset. Like, I think brands need to have the mindset of making it a win for their publishing partners, their affiliates as well. Like when the publisher and the affiliate is winning, your brand is winning. It's a good idea to keep them happy versus like this mentality of like using them and affiliates suck and, all this stuff. And, you can get email traffic that might be maybe more profitable, but drives lower volume, right? You might be able to work with organic partners like creators and stuff, but what are they going to drive? A couple hundred conversions in these little like sprint, type capacities, and that's not driving growth, needle moving growth or meaningful growth for the business or the brand. I mean, if you're trying to get from 10 to 25 million, from 25 to 50 million, you need needle moving growth, right? If you're trying to go from 50
volume,
to, you need volume. Working with a handful of influencers isn't going to do it. Working through organic isn't going to do it. But when you work with affiliates who can drive actual volume, they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a month with massive halo effect to your brand that is driving customers that you're getting for free to direct traffic, email traffic, maybe your products on Amazon, whatever. Maybe you have some other sales channels. That's driving a massive amount of untrackable lift that by affiliate spending, there's times when we're spending 7 figures a month on an offer. That
Sure.
drives massive traffic to all of the brand. That's just trackable traffic and trackable conversions.
And, and traffic you can make even better than next time that you're putting
Yeah.
forward a budget there. So, this is a good kind of segue into, all right, if someone wants to 10x their brand, if they want to get to 20 million, 10 million, 50 million, whatever the case may be,
Yeah.
they can go sign up on Meta themselves, right?
Sure.
Why can't they just, pop in and start spending that much money? Like, what are some of the challenges with Meta in terms of getting to that type of scale,
Yeah.
as it relates to unpredictability, attribution, things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the initial definitely will touch on attribution and tracking, but it's about creative ideas. Think about, Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies, Coca-Cola, they're working with dozens of creative agencies at a time because they want campaigns, right? They can generate campaigns internally, but they're paying for angles, inspiration, ways of engaging with the audience that their internal team is either not capable of for a variety of reasons, maybe based on skills or bandwidth.
Right.
And that's what working with affiliates can do, outside of, the other things like you mentioned, like, tracking and attribution. And when I look at my marketing career today versus when I started, and even still Meta, I was reading something last night in a Facebook group, and it was everyone's talking about like how Meta is going to go completely autonomous, and you're just going to be able to they'll develop all the creatives and the messaging, and you plug in how much you want to pay, and this whole conversation, right?
Interesting.
And it's like, for me, that'll happen. I agree, that'll happen. But at the end of the day, the people who know how to make decisions and develop strategy and control the inputs to the campaign,
There's always going to be some sort of differentiator, right?
it's going to be a
And
differentiator. Yeah.
that's where knowledge, experience, and also really understanding the data that you're so
And that's
privy to.
that's what I was getting to. Sorry. Yeah.
Please.
Glad you guided me back on track. I think nowadays my role, kind of in this like CMO type space, if you will, because it's more of like a consulting capacity with how I interact with a brand, is it's really about my understanding of the attribution model and window, because it's so complex, right? When you are running multiple channels and you're driving thousands of visits a day, hundreds of thousands of visits a month, or maybe even millions, like that becomes really complicated internally to be like, well, we're spending money on Meta and let's say our return on spend is 1.5, but Google's a 5x. Like, let's crank Meta down and let's crank Google up. And 9 times out of 10, it leads to cannibalizing the system. Right. And so, but conventional theory would say, well, Meta's more profitable. I'm sorry, Google's more profitable than Meta, but Meta fuels Google. And that is sort of the understanding of that relationship of how true top of funnel cold traffic sources like Meta, like TikTok, drive traffic through the system.
That's
And
the
then
halo effect you've
the halo
talked about
effect,
before,
but then being able to manipulate in a good way the traffic and the blended CAC, blended CPA, blended numbers, where it actually works for the business. That's where the top 1%, the secret sauce is. Nowadays, that's why it's so hard. The number one challenge is that truly, to grow through paid traffic nowadays, you need to have borderline CMO level skills in order to understand how the whole ecosystem is working. Sure, it's fine at the couple $1 million, level. A lot of founders can figure that out themselves. They're just looking at money in, money out.
right?
But as we're going to 10, 20, 50, 100 million and beyond, that attribution model is significantly more complex.
And you really have to understand all those metrics.
Correct.
And not only understand them, but know that they're accurate. Obviously,
Well, yes.
that's where
You're trying to make decisions from it, right? So you've got to be able to trust it as well, and then know what to do when you're seeing it at the same time.
And that has to do with industry knowledge. Like ourselves here at Everflow, when people sign on, we, our support team can talk a lot of people through that and how to set up events and why it matters, depending on what their goals are. if we do talk about tracking at all in this, I do want to say for everyone listening to the chat, we're gonna shy away from getting too techie for multiple reasons. One of them being that I'm myself not the techiest of people, so I'm not the foremost expert on it. But if you did have any questions about things like attribution, optimization, Facebook integrations, media buying integrations within Everflow, and you're an Everflow customer or a prospective one, or just want to learn a little bit more, please reach out to us. I'm going to have my email at the end, and we can have one of our technical experts dive into that with you.
And that's the part that's gotten significantly more complicated. Like Facebook for developers, when I started advertising however long ago, that didn't exist. Like the moment that they brought in conversion API after browser side tracking, things just got significantly more complex. And then the whole iOS 14 with removing data, and now you can enrich data on the back end, right? It's to your point about like, yeah, it seems easy, but it's significantly more complicated. The more it's like Alice in Wonderland as she continues to burrow her way through the rabbit hole.
I was trying to last night. I was trying to remember what that term was. Conversion API. I bought a little bit of traffic on Meta with varying degrees of success a few years ago, right when this was moving towards the conversion APIs, and I was thinking about bringing up the term pixel here, and I was like, man, I'm worried I'm going to date myself. You know, that's it's old news over on Meta, so it's all conversion APIs now. Yeah, so you know, earlier this year, there was a big change in the way Meta treats certain ad accounts that they categorize as health and wellness, and I believe there's a couple other categories,
financial. Yep.
And the reasons why they did it, notwithstanding, the effect it had was that you couldn't optimize easily within their platform to purchasers, right?
Yep. On the e-com side of it. Yeah, exactly.
So how did that change things for you, right? You had to get a little bit creative with how you optimize.
Yeah, I mean, this share, I mean, there's probably some people on the call that know about what I'm about to share, but you know, this piece of information is literally worth millions to the right brand. You know, literally, so basically what happened is primarily a bunch of these large telehealth brands are in a battle, you know, over data privacy with Meta.
Telehealth, as it relates to, you're going to talk to a doctor, GLP-1s, TRT.
Yeah, meaning like the product category specifically. So the HIPAA compliance, you know, sort of piece around, you know, personal data being shared and things of that nature. So basically back in January, Meta said, hey, if you're a brand that is in the financial space category or the health and wellness space, you no longer can use standard events. Standard events being add to cart, initiate checkout, purchase, lead, complete registration, things of that nature.
All the stuff you want to know.
All the stuff you want, right? Like you're running an offer, you know, to a landing page, you're optimizing for that specific event. Now you can no longer do it, right? So the solve was a custom event stack. To some degree, like we're recording this could actually be a bad thing. What's the right way to put it? A cloaked event set, custom event set that allows you to optimize for a purchase without calling it a purchase. And so essentially think ecom here. So view content, add to cart, initiate checkout, purchase. You know, we might use something like TS_01, TS_02, TS_03.
Some ways to do it outside of the internal
outside of the standard event set.
And you can pipe that information into Meta and achieve your goal in a little bit of a different direction. And you know, Everflow has a solution built in to that. I'm sure there's other ways to do it as well.
Yeah, Everflow, we've been able to do that with Everflow pretty seamlessly. There was a moment in time there earlier in the year where we were a little worried. And but we, you know, within like a week or two, we were able to mostly make the transition pretty smoothly. I mean, and we were spending like 7 figures plus on offers at that time. And
when like, campaigns are live, it's scary, right?
Yeah.
And it's just that extra piece of education. So again, anyone who's interested in that or how Everflow does it, please reach out to either myself and I'll get you in touch with the right people, or support at everflow.io, and we'll make sure we get those questions answered. Is there anything else you want to touch on there before we move on?
Yeah, I think just for anyone who's doing lead gen, the financial side of it, it's basically like the same thing, just a custom event setup from a conversion API perspective that allows you to optimize for the event that you want within your funnel, within your user sequence there. You're just doing it for leads instead of for purchases, essentially.
So I want to talk a little bit about Power Affiliate. So reason you guys are, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys are kind of the first touch for a brand. It's your internal media buying, right? It's where
Correct.
you validate and vet these offers. You run them through with your small internal paid social traffic team first. And then you, just like you were talking about earlier, these power affiliates, and when we say that, these are affiliates who are good at what they do, they're vetted, and they can drive high volume in a compliant and responsible way.
Yep.
Just like you said earlier, they want to know what offers work. They don't want to spend the time testing and ultimately losing money on things that aren't the right fit.
Yep. So essentially what we do is, so the business model, sort of our business model exists in three parts. You've got agency, which we are a power affiliate. You've got network, power affiliate network, closed network to power affiliate army only. And then you've got community, power affiliate army. What we do is we match brands with power affiliates, and then we match power affiliates with proven offers. And so
expand on that, right? You're not just saying, hey, this offer is great, go run it. You're giving them everything. You're giving them the strategies, you're giving them the creatives that you use, right? All the
so let's say that a brand's like, hey, we want to scale with affiliates, or we want to grow our affiliate program, or what have you. What we do is to just keep it simple, we basically do a testing audit. That testing audit is what we call performance validation. And it's a 30 to 45 day sprint where we test, vet, and validate the offer. The whole process, though, starts with vetting the offer. Can you take on volume of conversions? Is the offer and the funnel structure specifically proven from your internal traffic sources? Is your payout equal to or greater than your internal CPA? What is your payout ratio against LTV to CAC? Is the brand generating 10 million a year or more? That's the vetting side of it. And then when we come into the testing side, we literally will run the campaign, the offer, for 30 to 45 days. We're testing different angles. We're generating new creative. We're expanding into different audiences. We're leveraging our whitelisting, publisher network.
You're getting the social proof on Facebook as well. People interacting with the ad.
Yep. Yeah. We're generating all of our own UGC, our own, videos, like all of that stuff. And then at the end of that 30 to 45 days, our goal is to basically say, hey, the CPA was X, you're offering Y. Let's find a way to meet in the middle here where it's a win-win. Because the thing that we want to steer clear from is brand is like, hey, we want to offer a $100 payout, but the CPA from testing is 175. And we're like, good luck. Good luck. Cool. Go do it. Like, it'll fail. I know that sounds arrogant, but go do what you want to do. It's just not going to scale the way that, it tested.
You saying it sounds arrogant is interesting to me, and I want to kind of pause you there for just a moment. I've bought a ton of traffic from media buyers in my life, and I've never had someone sit down and go over the metrics with me like that. So that's actually something really unique. Maybe like, hey, in a short message, like, look, I need this high of a CPA to keep testing this, but to give the background of why, and to go through with brands and really understand what needs to be tweaked, or where certain numbers can be changed
for sure
to make it work. That's a really unique approach, and to me it really goes into why you guys have been so successful and how you've been successful.
Yeah, we just basically take that CMO level of consulting into the process, right? Just having been in the space for a long time, we understand attribution, we understand acquisition, we understand offers, we understand paid traffic, creative copy, the whole thing. And so we run that test, and then we basically create an optimization report for the brand. It kind of goes back to that thing I was joking about before. Like, when you run paid traffic, you're going to get the result. You might not like the result that you get, right? But even working in that capacity in the test, we're going to give you a ton of value the understanding of the numbers, the data, we're going to walk you through it. We literally spend multiple hours with the decision makers of the brand, trying to share with them the pathway of what needs to happen from an optimization perspective so that the affiliate program can grow. Usually that just goes back to offer 101. Most
And I
of the
imagine you
time,
had people that, the first time through, maybe they didn't see that immediate
100%.
success, but they were able to kind of take some of that data that they were able to extrapolate and make the changes necessary, and then re-engage with kind of paid social traffic.
Yeah, for sure. It's not uncommon for us to circle back multiple times with a brand. Like, we'll go through the initial testing phase. We'll give them our insights, our data, our recommendations. They maybe go adjust some things. And then 6 months, even a year later, we've had it where we'll come back to the offer. I can think of a handful just off the top of my head where, and even one specifically that we had probably a year and a half run with on the second go around after. And then they're making some like internal product adjustments, and we'll probably pick it back up, in a
Sure.
few months or whatever.
Sometimes the market needs to shift into you
Yeah,
as well, right? The demand side changes.
for sure.
And all those creatives you're making, right? It could be 100 creatives for one campaign, I would imagine, right? That
Yeah,
you're testing
yeah.
against, and you're getting data on. You share those back with the brand as well. Those are theirs to keep.
Yep. Yeah, our entire some people might know, I'm sure there's some people here who've been through some of our trainings and stuff like that, or who will watch, this like afterwards. But we were sort of really early on with regards to the creative testing philosophy movement, going back like 5, plus years ago, which was really centered around volume of iterative testing. I won't nerd out too much on that part, but essentially the brands that test creative in volume, those are the ones that scale with paid traffic. And so, yeah, we bring that approach and that methodology and that philosophy into that offer testing phase as well. And yeah, I was actually just looking at a report today, where we ran 100 individual unique creative tests in 10K in spend within that 30 to 45-ish day window. And there's a massive amount of insights that come from that.
Absolutely. And yeah, you just got to be able to put them into process.
Yep.
So, I know we've touched on this in a few different ways, and you mentioned it earlier, talked about what makes you all unique. The validation process and the vetting process, did you have any way you can kind of show us real quick how that
Sure.
looks from a brand perspective?
Yeah, I've got, let me pull up one of my, so this is like the SAP, for example. And this is, let me actually hit slideshow as well. So this is just like, for example, like one slide specifically of like, this is an app that we tested. It's called Queen Warriors. It's basically like a fitness app for females. And, we go through our testing process here. We share both buyer profile insights, the results of the campaign. So going back again to that piece of transparency, we actually give all of this information, which some people might be like, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot from a negotiation perspective. This is actually what allows us to negotiate, because we force transparency through everything that we do. Again, an affiliate can't drive growth for you if they're not winning, right? And so we just put that right at the forefront, like, hey, you want us to win, because when we win, you win. So yeah, we're essentially sharing, this entire breakdown with them. Here's an example, right, of, all the numbers of creatives in this specific case where, what is that? 43 plus, 10, 50, 52 plus 14, 65 plus creatives, in that time frame. And, we show direct from the ad accounts. Like, we're just really straightforward with what we do, funnel optimizations, et cetera, et cetera. So again, but the whole idea is that, because we basically challenge the idea that you want growth, cool, this is what it's going to take to get desired outcome. And we just bring it all to the forefront. It's very collaborative, like you said, and kind of going back to that, like, our mission is to get rid of the, how did I say it before? Is to get rid of sort of the lack of transparency and all of the head faking and the deception and things like that within the affiliate whether you want to call it the niche, the game, like the side of doing marketing or whatever, we want to abolish that and bring integrity to the process. And that's just the way that we want to do business.
It's something that kind of resonates with a larger shift, at least in my my experience the last 10 years in the affiliate space. It's naturally moving towards that way anyway, probably driven more from just economics. It's people can't broker 8, 9, 10 times anymore.
Yeah.
So it's forced to be that way in a good way, right?
Yeah.
It's the people have been forced to do things in a way that's going to make brands more relevant and interact with potential purchases in a more responsible way. And it's really great that you guys are you share that same vision.
Well, and I think the thing with that too, right, is like modern e-com specifically, there's a ton of brands on Everflow that are e-com. Obviously there's a lot of lead gen too, but modern e-com has really only been on the come up for the last 10 years, right? So, and that was sort of the golden era of meta advertising when things were cheap, right? So then you've got the post-COVID wave of affiliate cost of traffic in general just skyrocketing, right? You've got external factors like cost of goods skyrocketing on the brand side.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not just traffic, man. Everything.
Right, it's not just traffic. It's their internal production and operational mechanisms.
TVs are cheaper.
Yeah, that's true. But and what that has meant is that, that whole agency side of the game as well, like they've had to evolve with the thriving brands that are evolving. And just the fact of the matter is the demand for results is higher than it has ever been. And it will be next month and next year and the year after that. And so, which means that like the fundamental like acquisition system to most online businesses is built on a house of cards. And what I mean by that is it can be extremely unstable because if you're switching from agency to agency to agency, right, it's going to be really hard to create stable growth path to revenue unless you're a loyal person at heart or you diversify your traffic acquisition strategy, right?
Right. And that's, that's something, we've obviously have a chance to do at Everflow and within our marketplace. It's, just like any sort of investing, right? If you're investing in your brand, you want to diversify, and that means different types of traffic and different strategies. And you guys are a really great key to the social side of things. I was thinking about this last night. It bums me out that I met you a couple years ago after I stopped promoting offers and paying for social traffic myself. But
yeah, it's all good.
Better late than never.
We just get to do things in a different capacity now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, awesome. I mean, I think that's the majority of kind of what we wanted to hit on. I don't know if you wanted to mention anything else or talk a little bit more about your process.
Yeah, I think the big thing is like, we want to help brands and we want to help affiliates. Like we want there to be a win-win partnership. I think in general, when business is great is when both sides are winning, right? Like,
and that comes down to aligning goals at the end of the day.
Aligning goals.
And it's ultimately, we're all trying to do one thing, which is get more customers, get more leads. But when brands, when at the top of things, when publishers or media buyers, all they care about is, just getting a lead in that may not mature into an actual customer for a lead gen company, or if they're getting paid on a click and all they're doing is optimizing the clicks, like at the end of the day, that's not going to lead to long-term success for everybody in the chain.
Yeah, I think it's, the affiliates have to understand that they need to drive valuable leads and customers to a brand, and a brand needs to realize that they need to incentivize for obtaining valuable leads and customers, right? Like I've been pretty adamant about this part specifically over the last few years, which is chasing lowest cost leads or customers is often not the best thing for any business, right? And so when we chase low CPA, we inherently ask for low quality when oftentimes higher CPA means higher value. There's obviously nuances to that sort of marketing argument, so to speak. And I've certainly have spoken about that in a variety of different ways in different forums, but nonetheless, like, I think, for everyone to win. And that's what it's all about for us, like for Everflow to win, for brands to win, for affiliates to win. Like we all just need to like show up with integrity and find ways to do business collaboratively in a transparent way. And that's what we aim to do when we match brands with power affiliates. And that's what we aim to do when we help power affiliates get matched with proven offers.
We used to call it everybody eats. We want to make sure
everybody eats.
Everybody eats.
If everybody's eating, everybody happy. You got a nice little tummy, right? Everybody's good.
And you can relax after dinner and hang out. Thanksgiving is on its way up, coming in. And, there's so many stories about that, especially here on Everflow. Like, we have so many publishers that log into us. I want to say 40,000 publishers log into Everflow on a monthly basis. And all our brands, when I look at some of our numbers and you look at where the success stories are, so often that's the reason why. It's because people approached the entire partnership with a perspective of integrity, and just doing their best to make sure that everyone's goals are being achieved. So
100%. Yeah, exactly. And so just if you're a brand watching this today and you want help scaling your affiliate program, come check us out, poweraffiliatenetwork.com. We'll talk about how to get you matched with power affiliates. We'll vet the offer and see what it'll really take to really accelerate that affiliate program. And if you're on the affiliate side of things and you want to be part of an elite group of power affiliates, we call that the Power Affiliate Army. You can check that out as well. There's, come find me on LinkedIn. Be great to, jam with you guys there as well. All the links are on LinkedIn and all that good stuff that you guys can check out. And it's been awesome chatting with you. As you can imagine, I could do this for hours. So
yeah, we had a couple prep calls and we ended up just being long conversations about different things. So it's been really good. I did want to get to see if I'm not sure if we have any. Do you have any Q&A?
Yeah, I was just actually looking at it right now.
Not too much, but people were talking in the chat. If anyone
mostly just love, it seems like we're getting a lot of love right now.
I mean, I'm used to it.
Let's see. Oh, there's a couple things in the Q&A. It's showing as pending. Not sure what that means. What's the URL of your agency? I'll drop that in. So reasonagency.co, not .com. Somebody asked about that. What does it take to be your best friend? Adam, you and I are actually becoming friends. So you'd have to be you would have had to have been in my wedding actually to be my best friend, but we can still be good friends. I often do like doing business with friends, like from a professional perspective. Like I feel like doing business with people that you like and trust is important.
Yeah, I feel like the success I've had, that's one of the biggest reasons. I mean, trust is something, especially in our niche, that people really kind of tiptoe around. And so there's a reason.
I don't think anyone has ever said that they didn't trust us, ever.
That's fantastic. And
we certainly have caused pain for brands naturally, right? Like you're not getting results. Like it's going to happen.
Some things don't work. Yeah, some tests don't work.
Sometimes it's not going to work for a variety of reasons. But no one's ever said that it wasn't great working with us, either with our team or the way that we approach strategy or whatever. And I'm proud of that.
Krista asked
in the chat. Yeah.
What third-party validation do you like the most?
Let's see. I'm assuming that you mean like attribution tools like Cometly, or Steven, if you could quick confirm, that's probably what you mean, like Hyros or whatever. And then I'll come back to that.
And then also Clinic Secret, who in the chat was hoping to get connected with you, a GLP-1 brand here on the Everflow Marketplace.
Is that on the Q&A?
That was in the chat, but they did ask, they were talking about the thing they don't understand is when every brand in the industry drives down the offer to the bottom, kind of a race to the bottom, trying to compete everyone, especially on the publisher list, which then just brings the lowest quality conversions to the brands, inevitably.
100%. That's why, exclusivity and picking your affiliate partners. That's why we have this whole messaging around work with power affiliates, work with 3 to 5 power affiliates who can drive volume, so that you're not degrading your marketing, whether that's your branding, your messaging, your tech stack from a, tracking perspective, et cetera.
And also from a bandwidth perspective,
Bandwidth, yeah.
3 to 5 quality large power affiliates as opposed to
Yeah.
1,000 kind of small people driving a few $100s a day. Like, that's going to be really tough to stay on top of quality and what everyone's sending and make sure everyone's participating like a good actor.
For sure. Todd asked, will there be a recording? I think Everflow's sending out a recording, right?
Yes. Yeah. There'll be recordings. It'll be on our website.
And it'll be on the website. Yeah.
We'll do some further LinkedIn posts, which I'd imagine everyone's been forced to interact with by now. We do have, in the chat, what's cool is like it's really a collaborative mind meld of some of the experts in the space talking about the best ways to approach this stuff. Sean Hall wrote also, don't rely on your affiliates to get baseline data on unproven offers unless you're upfront with them and willing to get the guaranteed EPC to them for that.
Yep. I'm not Clinic Secret. If you could, it sounds like a very mysterious handle there. If you could share your name.
I know the secret. I can do an introduction for you guys.
Okay. No, they post something in the Q&A, so I didn't want to, hey, Clinic Secret. It sounds like we're in an eBay like forum or something like that. Thoughts on scrubbing conversions like from refunds or chargebacks that happen same day or soon after customer buys? Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to lean on being the affiliate, side of things on this one. I think there has to be a collaborative approach specifically here of a sort of percentage of loss that has to be assumed from a brand side. Like you're going to have chargebacks and refunds no matter what you're doing with what marketing you're doing. I know that's probably not the popular answer. But it is also very customary, like in the affiliate side of things, to sort of assume that that's going to happen as part of, the game as well. Is just that not all conversions are going to be quote unquote accepted. But I think, again, you want to be transparent on the brand side. You want to be transparent with your affiliate partners and like, hey, we saw, 10% chargebacks this month, and, but we'll credit you a $5 bump in CPA for the next 30 days so that you're still feeling good about running the campaign. Like give and take. That's what it means to sort of be a partner, right? I think if we just treat affiliates like they're a piece of poo on the bottom of our shoe, that's what we're going to get back, in return. And trust me, I get it on the brand side as well. They want valuable customers and customers that stay and that spend money and drive profit for the business. And I think that just goes back to treating partners well on both sides.
Adam had a couple cool, great nuggets in here. He's talking about paid traffic. It puts a loudspeaker on what's working.
Yeah.
It's a really good way to kind of sum a lot of this up. And then he's talking about the difference between, not the difference, but the mentality and how it relates to readiness. And that you have to have the mentality that you want your affiliates and partners to actually make a profit. And it goes to what you were saying, where you want everyone.
100%. It's kind of like the idea of like, think of it like from an internal team organization perspective. The founders that want their C-suite, that want their leadership team and their executives to maximize their compensation plans. The reason that they want them to maximize their compensation plans is because company growth as a result of people maximizing their compensation plans, which ultimately means if my team wins, I, the founder, will win as a result or benefit of my team winning. And it's very, very similar in this case and scenario as well. If you're working with external partners and you fundamentally have the mindset of, I want my partners to win, and if my partners win, that means that I win, then it's great. It's gravy. Those relationships last a really long time. How are we talking about golf in the chat here all of a sudden?
Someone asked what the best score was, and it definitely got me distracted. Someone hit my kryptonite in there.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I'm a big time golfer as well, and
I will. Our new Everflow office here, we have a really cool shared workspace here in Everflow in Oakland. If anyone's ever around the area, please come by and say hi. We do have 2 golf simulators in here.
Oh, nice.
So
nice.
And I haven't spent any time at all doing that.
As in you have.
If anyone asks, yeah.
Yeah, during your lunch break.
Yeah. Jason wrote, so glad the thin affiliate site is fading trend. Brand building is the only way to go. Just a lot of people resonating with what we talked about. And so it's great to see that there's like-minded people here in the chat, and hopefully, it leads to people kind of making better decisions, and ultimately, I hope you can get some new potential customers out of this. And please, again, you can reach out to me at pat@everflow.io if you have any questions about Reason Agency, anyone else on the Everflow marketplace, different types of publishers. And if you want any questions about the technical stuff, if you're an Everflow customer as well, I'll make sure to get you in touch with someone who's smarter than me.
Awesome. Yeah, great session today for sure.
I think that's about it.
Everyone's just dropping their golf scores basically in the chat at this point.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, this is cool. Wow. Dang. How am I the worst? All right. I need to.
We'll have to get a match going when we meet up at AWS, if that's possible.
Yeah, maybe I feel like at Affiliate Summit in Vegas, they need to have like an indoor golf league event for like the serious people.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, it's just easier to do than getting out to Top Golf or spending much money to go golf the win. So
100%.
All right.
Cool. Good to jam with you guys.
Thanks everyone. Thanks for the laughs. I think you made more jokes than I did and saved your voice there.
Yeah.
And awesome. Well, I'll be talking to you soon, Will.
Absolutely.
Until next time. Thank you, everybody.
See you guys. Thank you.